sure you've all done loads and loads of goal setting. So if I say to you, think about your ambitious aspiration for your business, okay? You can make pictures of how you want your business really to be. Yeah, you've all done that kind of thing. I'd like you to make a bit of a movie of that for yourself that is not you looking at your bank balance and it having a certain number on it. It's not the kind of, oh, I have arrived and here is, or here's the car, or it's what's an everyday, ordinary day in the business the way you want it to be like. What do you find is, so if it's being interviewed on telly, or if it's doing huge deals, or if it's getting out of a helicopter on the top of the bank to discuss something, whatever it is, I want you to imagine a day in the life that you would have that was like, oh yeah, this is what I do, right? So if you were talking about what you do last week, you'd just be matter of fact about the way things are in the business. Think about your business, a day in the life, matter of fact, but at the level that you would really be exciting if that was. Of course, it's natural for me to be on the telly, or of course, it's natural for me to be on the cover of Management Today, or I don't know what it might be. Right? Okay, everybody got something? Yeah? That's 10 out of 10 on a scale. And I want you to now imagine a scale where that's 10 and the complete opposite, nothing's happening at all, is 0. And then ask yourself, where am I on that scale now? Okay, so let me just get a sense of the range. Anybody at 0? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, a few 4s, great. 5s, great. 6, 7s, 8s, okay. 9s, and anybody at 10? Okay. So, fantastic, those are very workable. Can I suggest, only respectfully, that if you're in the sort of 7 or 8, you might want to think about, well, what would 15 be? And make that 15 the new 10. Just to give yourself a little bit more, why not? Why not push the boat further out? For everybody, though, whatever your number is, I'd like you to ask you this question. Let's say you're a 6, right? Usually what we go is, okay, you're a 6, why aren't you a 10? And when you ask the question, why aren't you doing better? What you'll hear is problems. You'll hear lack. You'll hear maybe excuses. Haven't got these resources. This isn't working very well. We need to fix this. We need to get that. Okay? Instead of asking, why aren't I a 10 if you're a 6, ask, why aren't I a 5? What stops us from being a 5 then? And what you should be coming up with is resources. Think about the crappiest, barely breaking even, zombie type of business. Right? As long as it's breaking even, actually a lot of things must be working in that business. And there's probably some passion there. There's some people who really care. They've got customers. They are serving those customers. Otherwise, they wouldn't even, just to get to that point. So I want you to flip your thinking, because I'm sure you're doing a lot better than that. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be in this room. Right? But how often do we go, well, what stops us from being one lower than we think? So what I'd like you to do is this. Take just a few minutes on your own to start with, and then we'll do a little bit of swapping notes. Whatever level you're at, just take a minute, write as many ideas out as you can. What stops you being, if you're at level N, what stops you being at level N minus 1? Give you a minute or so, then I'll give you a shout, and then you can just swap notes with somebody next to you, and they can maybe nudge you for a few more things that you might be looking past and discounting. Okay? Just maybe 1 or 2 like to share any particular things that you went, oh, okay, that's right, we need to remember that.
So in our group, we were discussing actually one of the big things is having great processes in place so that, in the case of the guys here, like the fact that their team have got some of those processes in place, that they're following them and so on, means that as the business owners, we're not then getting sucked as much into the day-to-day, which means that we're closer towards the 10 rather than further down the scale.
Great, and when it comes to processes, you know how hard it probably was to get those in place, and you'll hear loads of other business people going, oh, wish I had the processes. To recognise those things is starting to look at how much more can you capitalise on is part of it. The other thing just to say, and incidentally, this was the trigger for the second book, the Committed Action book. This is a phenomenally good thing to do with your people. Right, because a lot of especially if you're worried about having a culture, which I've done quite a bit of work with law firms over the years. And I remember one lawyer once saying to me, round here, Praise is just the absence of blame. As long as you're not being blamed for something, that's your positive reinforcement. And it's so easy for us to think, because we're problem solvers, that we're looking for things to fix, rather than what is working that we can build on. If you get your team to do this exercise, you'll have a fantastic conversation. It's very, very energizing. And what I love about it is it's energizing, but without the boosterism. Because it's based on reality rather than, just BS, which is also, we need a lot more boosterism based on reality.